Hello and welcome to the tasting of cheeses featured in our Cheese Club in February 2026. We are the cheese ladies, Pauline and Svetlana, and today we'll chat you through our selection. We have 4 gorgeous cheeses and we hope that you will enjoy sampling them with us, and we'll take you on a little journey around the cheese making world. So, shall we start? Without
Please.
further ado, the first cheese that we're going to try is a soft cheese naturally, and for this one we're going to Italy, in the north of Italy, specifically Piedmont. And this cheese is just a gorgeous little round, so you can see there's a portion of it, but it's not very big. It's a nice flat disc, and it's a blend of cow's milk and sheep's cream, and that's what makes it a little more kind of decadent, if you will, on the palate and in taste. Let's have a little smell. Has a lovely and actually pronounced smell for soft cheese.
Yes, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Anything comes through on the nose?
Quite yogurty, sort of fresh almost.
Mushroomy.
Yeah.
Has a right tang to it and a little bit of sweetness that you can expect. Oh, and I think a little bit herbaceous.
Yeah.
I want to say. Interesting. So look how squidgy that is. So if I press on it, and the glossiness of the texture.
Yeah, it does make you really want to tuck in.
Yes, very inviting. So you say we should just tuck in?
I think so.
And then we'll talk a little bit later. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Well, while we're tucking in, I just want to note as well that this cheese has an edible rind, therefore we eaten the whole thing. But the texture inside, how gorgeous is that? Very silky, very creamy,
Mouth covering,
mouth coating.
Yeah,
that's absolutely gorgeous. So, what kind of wine do you think we should enjoy it with?
Something light. I'm going to go white.
Yes.
But like I say, quite a light one.
Light wine, so if you like white wines, sparkling wines, you don't want to really overwhelm this cheese because it's quite a gentle one.
Yeah.
And yes, don't go red, I think. We're thinking no red, no port, anything like that. I mean, if you love it, we're not going to stop you. But if you want
a very nice pink as well.
A light rosé would be good. Yes, let's not go too heavy, because what you want to think about here is the balance of intensity of the cheese and intensity of your wine. So the cheese is quite light and elegant, and a light wine or another beverage, I don't know, a light beer, perhaps like a wheat beer, would be a good alternative as well. What do you love the most about this one?
I like the texture.
The texture. It's
Yeah.
quite Moorish. I almost don't want to stop eating it.
Yeah.
Well,
I definitely think the texture is that silkiness and
very mouth-coating.
And it lingers even although it's quite subtle.
And in terms of flavor, we talked about the aroma and the texture, and that flavor is very elegant, but still noticeable. It has a little bit of a tang, but sweetness as well, because it's a blend, like I say, of cow's and sheep's milk. There is that richness and sweetness of sheep's milk as well. Absolutely gorgeous cheese. I think that's a good start.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our next cheese. So this is Rachel. Rachel is from England. Some people tend to call it various names, and we hear Raquel in the shop. It's just Rachel. But yes, if you want to make her sound more exotic, you can use other names as well. Please start trying that. Rachel is a semi-firm. So how do we know that? If we press on the cheese and it bounces back, it's a semi-firm cheese made with goat's milk. And an indication that it's a goat's milk, that it's a very light color. It's not paper white like some young goat's milk cheeses can be, but it's definitely edging more towards white rather than yellow. as we will see with the next cheese. So bouncy texture, you can see it has just a few eyes in the texture, but mostly kind of pliable that way. The rind is washed, so they wash the cheese on the outside to develop this gorgeous orangey colored rind, and then it gets speckled with other molds. You probably will be wondering whether it's edible.
That was my question.
It is edible, but it's completely up to you if you enjoy it. It's not going to do you any harm, so give it a try. But as with all natural / washed rinds, you may find it to be a more earthy, if you will, compared to the rest of the cheese. So it's up to you. Let's have a smell. I'm getting nutty.
Yeah.
Not very intense, it's on the light side. And I should say this is a gouda style. So not only it's semi-firm, it's goat's milk, it's a gouda style. And this is where we want to say that if you are not too sure about goat's milk cheeses, this is a good...
It's an excellent one to do.
Yeah, excellent one to start with if you are starting to dip toes into the goat's milk cheese world. So a nice one, try Gouda.
I think as well, we get a lot of our customers that say, oh, I don't like goat because it's a bit goaty. I personally think this is an absolutely fabulous one. It doesn't, for me anyway, does not smell of goat at all. It doesn't taste of goat. There's just this lovely slight sweetness because it is a Gouda. And it's one of my personal favourites. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, and remember we also visited the cheesemaker, the farm. We saw the goats. They have their own goats, about 700 of them, at least back then. And they're phenomenal. They do make a variety of goat's milk cheeses and sheep's cheeses as well. So yeah, a fascinating cheesemaker, and goat's milk is their own, from their own goats. So we can call this a farmhouse cheese. What do you think about on the palate? As good as you remember?
I think I'm leaning towards this as quite a young one.
Could be, yeah.
I think I have had it with it's been a bit more, I mean, we're not seeing a lot more mature, just a little bit more mature. I just love it. It's just so easy.
It's easy going, isn't it?
It's just easy. Elegant. I mean, it's not overpowering. It's full of flavour. It lingers once you've had the, your first taste. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I quite like the rind.
And I don't know if you feel the same way or not, but I don't find this to be farmyardy in any way.
No.
So I think that's one of the main concerns with goat's milk when people are put off by it. They think it's going to be farmyardy. I don't find this to be farmyardy at all. So smooth, nutty, elegant, gorgeous. I think I agree. It sometimes can be a little bit more intense, but it could be to do, of course, with the age, but also with seasonal variations in the milk. Yeah. I imagine this cheese, as we are now in February, would have been made 3-4 months ago, which means it was in autumn. Yeah. And therefore it's not necessarily the summer milk when goats are probably frolicking in the fields, whereas this one is made with different kind of feed in the system. So yeah, all of those nuances are absolutely precious. And what I like to encourage people to bear in mind is that the same cheese will never be the same, exactly the same again. It's not like with Moet Chandon kind of champagne, which is supposed to be always exactly the same, as lovely as it is. But with Artisan, with farmhouse cheeses, we need to remember they'll always be a bit different. Milk will be different, animals will be fed different things. So yeah, it's a great thing to explore and bear in mind, and not to expect them to be standardized, because that's the stuff you'll find in supermarkets.
I do think the season that the cheese is made does make a slight difference.
A slight to a huge difference. I mean, it depends on the variety of cheese. Yeah, absolutely. So Should we say, because this cheese is so elegant, we'll continue enjoying it with something white or rosé?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still don't think it's going to handle the red.
No, I agree. So yeah, so far you could cover yourself with a glass of light rosé or white wine or wheat beer. Still, I'm sticking with that. But let's move gently on. And now we're gonna try something a lot more mature, a lot more kind of complex. I almost want to say masculine because it's so a robust flavor.
Robust. I was thinking robust.
Let's remind ourselves, obviously we have tried these cheeses before, but it's always interesting when we revisit them and we actually have a proper sit down and we have a think and a discussion about it. Right, so this cheese, let me tell you a few facts about it. It's a Poacher 50. You may have heard of Lincolnshire Poacher. So it's kind of the, how shall we say, maybe the granddad of the Poacher family.
Yeah.
So that's their original cheese that the cheesemaker produced. So Lincolnshire Poacher is kind of their main flagship cheese. And this one was a little bit of an accident, how they came up with it. We remember, and we looked at each other because we visited the farm and the cheesemaker was telling us about how this accident happened. It was during the pandemic when the cheesemaker on duty maybe took his eye off the curd a little bit, which sometimes happens. But what happened was, as a result, the curd heated up to a slightly higher temperature than normal. So if normal temperature would be around 30 degrees for this kind of cheese, it heated to 50 degrees Celsius, which is a little bit high, and hence the number 50 in the name. But what they discovered after they've made this batch, they didn't abandon it, thank goodness, and they matured it, that this tasted kind of so much more deep. It had more sweetness to the flavor. Yeah. So essentially they created another variety of Lincolnshire Poacher. And when we were visiting the farm, we got to try from their cheese cathedral. We were walking through these maturation rooms and looking at thousands of truckles of cheese being matured, and then we were taken to this special corner of their maturation facility, and that's where we got to try 4-year-old Poacher 50.
Yes.
And we were like, well, we need to have this in the shop.
It was quite spectacular.
Wasn't it just? Shall we have a little smell? Yes. Definitely that sweetness of the more cooked curd comes through. You get fruity.
I get fruity.
Yeah, there's a little bit kind of a zing or a tang, which gives you that illusion of fruitiness as well. Yeah. Of course, to release your aroma in the best possible way, break your cheese under your nose. Yeah, definitely a little tang for me. And you'll see the texture is a little bit rugged. So this is where it reminds you of cheddar style cheeses. And yes, it kind of sits in that territory of being between a cheddar and an alpine cheese because of its sweetness and a little bit of smoothness. But yeah, definitely a crumbly texture.
Yeah, it's a little crumbly there that I remember.
Yeah,
but it's gorgeous.
So on the palate, we can see the crumbly ruggedness of the texture, but also smooth. Once you've chewed it up a little bit, and the tang that we smelled definitely comes through.
Definitely there.
Nutty, fruity.
I think it's seasoned beautifully.
In terms of salt?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. We have a little bit of a thing, don't we, about salt? Yeah. With Farmhouse and Artisan cheeses, what makes them so special is to taste the milk and what the animals were eating and how their milk is naturally. But salt is an essential part of cheese making, but it has to be done ever so elegantly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes some cheeses get over salted and it just masks the nuances of their flavor, which can be a little bit sad. But with this one, and I mean with all three so far,
so far, absolutely
beautifully salted. Salt should be just a little bit in the background, like a supporting act, but not the main flavor. I think again, if we think about supermarkets, it's there the cheese is really predominantly salty in flavor, whereas with Farmhouse and Artisan cheeses is where we embrace nuances. What can we taste? What can we guess about what happened with this cheese? When was it made? And what the cows were eaten in this instance. So yeah, it takes me back to that visit.
Yeah.
It's a lovely cheese. It's very complex. And this is where we're probably thinking, what do you recommend?
I'm going to go with a darker beer.
Okay. Appropriate, like an ale. Would you like an ale?
Obviously,
very smooth.
Our local beverage for us is Belhaven.
Yep.
But I think that would go beautifully.
Beautifully.
I think a lightish red would be okay with it.
I think even a medium. Medium. No,
medium.
Absolutely. Whatever you would have with your mature cheddar. So yeah, a Bordeaux, maybe not too heavy, a Rioja, something in the light to medium range. Don't go too light. But yeah, light to medium, I think is a good
Do you think it would hold its own on a whiskey?
Depends on the whiskey. Perhaps not smoky, but yeah, like a lighter lowland for sure, and then maybe even something a bit sweeter and more caramelly from the highlands. Yeah, experiment. There's no right or wrong answer, and remember, like we say, these cheeses always evolve, always change, and there's an element of personal preference. So yeah, the world is your oyster. We're just giving you kind of broad guidance, and of course we can be swayed by our own likes and dislikes. So yeah, experiment, explore. This is the fun part of it. Okay, so from Lincolnshire, we're now going abroad again, and we're going to France.
Thank you.
And this is one of the most ancient cheeses from France. Well, one of them. And it's called Fourme. It's a cow's milk, blue cheese, obviously. It comes as a big tall thing that's quite slim. And what I love about this cheese, and of course I haven't tried it yet, but I know why I love it. It's the creaminess. Do you want to go ahead and try it and see
if you feel the creaminess?
Yes, you can see it.
And you can feel it in coating on your fingers whilst you're holding it. You know, there is that kind of almost buttery feel.
Buttery, smooth, and it looks like it's very intensely blue throughout. Veined, yeah. But I have to say, for me and my palate, I would place it on the lighter end of the spectrum.
I would agree.
Yeah. Let's smell it, shall we? You've smelled it. Okay, well, mushroomy. I think mushroomy, a little bit earthy, especially if you smell the rind.
Oh, I would say a little earthy.
The rind is actually very inoffensive here.
Oh, I would have that.
Usually I would tend to cut the rind off on the blue cheese. This one I could even eat, but again, it's completely up to you. I should have said on the Poacher 50 to cut off the rind, because it has a little bit of a plasticky layer, very fine, but just helps with the maturation. So that rind I would recommend cutting off. But with the Fourme, it's up to you. You can eat it. It's very inoffensive. Okay. What do you think about the texture and the flavour?
I love the texture again. It's very mouth coating, especially when you let it warm gently in your mouth. I think it's very creamy. Yeah, not too strong. Very complex. I don't think you would say it's a strong blue by any means, but it has a lot of flavour.
Absolutely, I agree with all of the above. It's definitely more salty than the other cheeses we've tried, but that's just the nature of blue cheeses. But that's not what we would call a strong blue, because what we think of when we say a strong or a mild blue is the way that it bites your tongue. And this one doesn't really bite your tongue. It's quite gentle.
Lots of flavours though, hasn't it? Really.
But because there is a little bit more salt than in other cheeses, I would be thinking maybe like a heavier or sweeter red, edging towards a full-bodied red. I mean, if you do love your port or banyuls or something like that, you can give it a try. But yeah, slightly heavier red with a bit of sweetness. We have wine in a shop that is Italian, and it has some raisined grapes used in production of it. Sell a lot of it. It's so delicious. We consume a good amount as well. But I'm thinking that kind of wine that has a little bit of sweetness. So, absolutely.
Whilst we're talking about blue, does the amount of blue depend on how strong it is?
No, that's what I was kind of trying to explain. The amount of blue doesn't necessarily equate to the strength of the blue, as we can see in this case. So
you would think this was going to be a strong blue, wouldn't you, with the amount of blue it's
and I mean, understandably so, but there are different strains of blue, and some of them are bitier than others, and I think whatever is used here is a little bit lighter on the bite side. But yes, there will be other blues. They'll look not as blue, but they'll be stronger than this. So it's a good idea maybe to ask your cheesemonger for recommendations. If you have a particular bottle of wine, or if you prefer a certain strength of blue, you can ask them, how strong do you think it is? Of course, bear in mind, everybody's palate is individual and can be a bit different and subjective, but you can at least get general guidance. Well, that is our tour around the cheese-making world in 4 cheeses for this month over. I want to thank Pauline, and I hope you enjoyed tasting these cheeses with us, and we hope to see you next time. Leave some comments below. We hope you enjoyed the videos, and tell us what you'd like to see more of in the future. Until next time.